today's show, Building a Collaborative Team, part 5 of this week's series on business planning with millennial marketer David Specht, CFP. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to the show, day 5, David.
Thanks.
I'm still back on Wednesday's Whisperer. I'm back the day before, the day after for our questions, right? Our imposing questions, those really inquiry. I feel like today we want to build a team because really this is when we talked about Monday's show. I think a lot of our viewers are going to go, wow, I'm kind of shocked, David. You don't really, you're not a producer, you're a fee-based planner, really. Basically, you do plans and you import people into your practice who are specific specialists, whether it's in life insurance, long-term care, disability. You outsource the security, the retirements issues. It's going to experts in their field.
Yes.
You're just doing the fee, and you're making a huge, huge living on the basis of this at such a young age. And your participating advisors are writing the product line, and you're okay with that. Wow, that is a completely model-busting idea, I have to say. But you have to build a team. That's what you have told me, and I've really starting to kind of see your thinking behind this. Talk a little bit about building a collaborative team because, you know, do I really want a guy on my team that can bat forth and hit it out of the park? Or will he think his value is so great that he won't recognize the leadoff man as worth anything? Talk about that.
Yeah, building a collaborative team, especially if you're going to choose family business as a niche, is enormous because you're only as good as the weakest member of your team. These plans are so integrated. You know, the tax planning, you know, that has to be communicated with not only the CPA part but the attorney and everything the insurance professional does needs to make sure that it's coordinated with these other professionals. Otherwise, there's holes in the plan. And in the end, when it comes time to deliver, you know, at a death or something else, you know, the last thing you need is to find out you had a hole in your plan.
When I think about partnering, I'm thinking of a couple areas here. I have my fiduciary community where I might have my CPA, tax attorney, trust officer. I'm looking at my insurance professionals where I'm looking for life insurance, LTC, long-term care, disability, health. And then I'm looking at my securities, my wealth management, my retirement accounts that are FINRA oriented. Do you have this kind of integration? It's that collaborative, that broad-based?
It is. It takes a special advisor to who's willing to be a team player. But in the end, the advisors that I work with, they love it because I'm getting out in front of the tough issues, these soft issues that we talk about, and really when I'm bringing them in, they're ready for solutions. And so it shrinks the amount of time that an advisor, an insurance professional, has to spend with a client because they don't have to worry about, you know, sibling rivalry and the issues with the generational things. And so they can do what they're best at, and they can do it faster, and they can do it more efficiently.
So really, you're kind of landing on the beach and really doing all the upfront, what I would call the heavy digging, because you're unearthing the family dynamics so that we can really, by the time they get involved, we've already talked all this through.
Yeah, and believe me, advisors love this because they don't want to get caught in the weeds with you know, the relationship issues. They want to do what they're best at. If they're a CPA, they want to focus on tax planning. And if they can just focus on that, they're happy. And if they can focus on it in an efficient way, they're more profitable. And so you can have huge advocates for you if you can make their life easier. And that's what's happened.
So really, and you keep using this term these soft issues, but it sounds like to me these should not be secondary or tertiary. This should be a major upfront issue covered off on all these dynamics because it really makes the closing of the case better. Your partners that you're partnering in, whether it's fiduciary, insurance professionals, or FINRA security wealth managers, they probably love this because you've really cut out all the aggravation and you've made the steps to closability a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Yeah, it is. It's become a lot easier. And the other thing that we haven't even talked about is the fact that you're not getting one generation of a client if you go about it in this way. If you have the family as a client, you have generations of people who are going to buy product from you. And so if you ignore the next generation and just focus on the business owner, you're going to have to remarket again. But if you focus on the family as a whole, then you have not only the business owner, you probably win the trust of the spouse when maybe the business owner passes away, you win the trust of the next generation, and you have leads, you have opportunities to help a family for generations, and it's just smart.
But now, and this is not only a smart methodology, but you've proven this as a proven approach to doing this. So you're not just getting the original, what I would call the initial business plan with the owner. You're getting multiple generational sales because you're addressing so many things. And it seems to be, if the way you've programmed this, it seems to be a natural step-by-step item. People accept that, oh, he's the family fiduciary. It reminds me, and I'll close with this, the segment with this, reminds me of the movie Ben-Hur, where he has this trusted steward, and he runs everything. And they only come once a year to account, and Ben-Hur's always enthusiastic because he says, oh, my steward, I'm always richer because my steward's done all this. He knows all the dynamics and everything else. I think we're moving back to this kind of old thinking as far as really becoming the actual parent or this pastor of the family.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, everyone wants to be taken care of, and I think our advisor community as a whole can get better at that.
We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Back in the day, life insurance professionals were called field underwriters. Then, carriers trained their field force in the basics of life insurance underwriting. Today, the insurance industry doesn't educate the agent population as they once did. But now you can have the Informed Risk Guide at your fingertips so you can illustrate a reasonable rate class for your life insurance prospects. Just request your copy of the Informed Risk Guide at downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. It's free from Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Welcome back. We're with David Specht, millennial marketer extraordinaire. I have to say, this whole week is a mind opener because I'm so used to crunching the numbers, putting the data up on the Mondo pad, looking at all the different positioning of product lines, planning, strategies, and tactics. And I feel like I've been on a couch for a week. You know, we're really talking about the real family dynamics that really will actually, it'll increase our closability, position us as the QB, which we want for our people. And it sounds like you're almost putting yourself as the CFO of the entire family concern.
Yeah, and really, I mean, you get a chance to integrate not only with the business, but with the family. And so there's all kinds of, product opportunities available once they see you as the most trusted advisor.
I want to know, what kind of expectations do you set for collaboration? You're in front of a client for the first time. What are your expectations? How do you set them?
So the first thing I tell a family is that, I will not advocate for the business owner. The business owner may be the person that contacted me first, but I'll tell them right away, if you're hiring me to just advocate for what you want to have happen, I'm not your guy. I'm an advocate for the family and for the business, and that all goes together.
How do they receive that when you first say that to some of these owners?
They're not used to it. They're used to people who sell things wanting to cater to them, treat them, they'll never say anything that's negative, or cross to them, but to get it out early and saying, look, Mr. Business Owner, I respect you. I appreciate you bringing me to the game here, but you're bringing me here to help the family, and I'm going to do that.
And they're okay with it.
And they're okay with it.
Wow, that's a kind of a change in the dynamic. I think that's a paradigm change for actually approach. I think we're supposed to go to the guy that's going to write the check. And you're saying that old way of thinking is not the way to go after a business. You need to be looking at it as a family issue.
I think going after the business owner by themselves is short-term possibilities. You may be able to sell them something, but in the end, long-term, you're gonna have to win the spouse. You're gonna have to win the next generation. You're gonna have to find a way to actually integrate with that family. And so I think getting it on the table early to say, I'm not just yours. I'm not just your guy, but I'm the family's resource.
Talk about accountability. Because you're trying to say if you have accountability process in place, there'll be a better outcome for the family, and of course for you as the fee-based planner and the people that you outsource for product.
Yeah. So accountability is huge because, and I'll go in and say, how willing and ready are you to make decisions? That's one of the first things I'll ask, because I'll tell them if you're not willing to make decisions, then don't waste your money or time on this process. If you're at a place in your life where you're ready to make decisions, then this makes a lot of sense. If you're willing to become vulnerable and to move forward, then it's a good start.
It looks like part of the accountability that you do is you actually create some kind of expectation for delivery. What will you do? What will they do? You make assignments.
Absolutely.
And
So
they're okay with that?
they are okay with it, and they want someone to take charge of it, because as soon as you're done with them, they're going back to their business. They're going to do what they're best at. They're going to forget about the things that you've talked about. They need someone that's going to nudge them forward, and accountability is huge. So we have an action plan of what they're going to do, whether they're going to do something or an advisor or me, who it's assigned to, when it's going to be done by, and I'm the accountability coach.
Becoming a destination firm. I really want you to expand on this, because it's a new concept to me.
Yeah, so I think every advisor should ask themselves the question, why should people come find me? And that's every advisor's dream, is to have people come find them because they're known for something. They're known for doing something well. And so whatever you're good at, why is your firm a destination firm? Why should people come and seek you out? Whether you're in Arizona or Nebraska or wherever, why would people come from a different state to come to get what you have? And for me, it's all about process. It's not about the products, because the products, we all have access to products, but it's about a process, and it's about becoming different in the eyes of the consumer.
But I have to say, and I hope you don't mind me saying it like this, because of you're so young, in your mid-30s, and you've been able to develop a model that actually works and has a huge monetary approach, I have to say that people are coming to you now because you've really developed a culture and a destination, as you've said here. And I'm trying to figure out, how replicable is this for a regular advisor who says, I'm starting to kind of go down David's thinking here. How do I approach that? Can I adopt that?
Yeah, I think each advisor needs to decide what scope they want. So for me, I wanted a national presence, and so that's why I pursued the publications that I did. If you're looking for a more regional approach, you need to select regional publications to write for. You need to select the specific industry niche that you want. And so you have to be very intentional about who you write for and what you do, because that will be the audience that comes and finds you.
Last question before we leave. You put together this whole entire process, and she's tremendously successful for your generation. Give me a couple last thoughts for people that are just coming into our business that are under 40.
Well, I think for young people like myself, there's a huge opportunity to bring value to a practice, especially if you're partnered with someone that is more seasoned in the business, to bring some of these new thoughts to the team. Because again, if you've worked with someone that's been in the business for 20-25 years, they have the things that they are good at, and they're going to want to keep doing those things. And so as a young advisor, you need to figure out, how are you going to be different? How are you going to add value to a practice? And then how are you going to develop your own name and your own niche within that practice?
Well, that's our show for today. Remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas you hear on our show, always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, or your broker-dealer compliance department. And don't forget, you can view all our past episodes on downtobusiness.ashbrokerage.com. And remember, you could be wiser as an Ash broker.